about a view.
It's brighter on the ground than it is looking up at the sun. That's a sign of a good beach. Acai and tapioca.
This is very popular in this region.
All we have is these hand-painted signs.
Good morning from Itacaré. We're feeling very refreshed. We got a good night's sleep. We got Alex's medications.
So for those who don't know, we have a car now. We're on a little road trip of Brazil. And so we're going to find our car, which we had to park like 3 blocks away, maybe a 5-minute walk because there was no parking yesterday.
It was a Sunday night, but this place was packed. I guess this place gets really busy on the weekends, so we're just glad we could find parking. This might be one of our hottest days yet. We just got in the car and I'm already sweating. I can't even touch the steering wheel because it burns my hand.
And it's hard to touch anything.
You gotta be careful.
Hard to breathe.
Good thing we have air conditioning in here. So, nice thing about having a car is you save a lot of time. So we're gonna take the car to drive to these different beaches because they're not really within walking distance, the ones that we're going to. So, here we go.
So look at this, you can see all of these beaches. We're going south and we're starting at this most southern beach and then we're gonna go up and hit the beaches along the way back.
We've heard a lot about Jarabuca Zoo. That's the famous one here.
So we're starting off going to Itacaré. Yeah, we're starting off going to Itacaré. We still sound Spanish.
The pronunciations are so hard for us.
Yeah, we just parked up here on the road. It looks like some people are taking their car down here. We think the beach is down here, but it also says it's a restaurant and a lounge. So we're just gonna walk this way, I guess.
We don't know what we're getting ourselves into, but the guy said it takes like 10 minutes to walk down to the beach, and on the map it seems like this is the best way. So let's see if it is.
Walking down here.
Wow, talk about a view. You can see it. The coastline just goes for miles and miles. Going downhill quite a bit.
You guys probably can't tell on video how steep this is, but we're just going straight down here.
Wow, white sand beach right here.
It's so bright from the ground. It's brighter on the ground than it is looking up at the sun. That's a sign of a good beach. Whew. So we think that there's a hike that's connecting all of these beaches. There are about 4, maybe even more beaches that we can go to around here. But since we're low on time, we're gonna take our car to go to these beaches. But just know that if you wanna hike, I think you can do that, and I think it's that way, through these trees over here. So that was actually a very cool looking beach. Looked like a movie set with the jungle behind and the mountain. But we have a lot more to see. And it was very windy down there.
If only we had more time. Now we have to hike up this steep road.
Long hike up. We heard about a famous place to eat something. We'll see if we can find it. What about that?
We got lucky. We got the only spot. Wow. thing we get lucky on. Sadly, the empada place is closed. It's only open on weekends apparently. So the famous place that we were talking about is an empada place, which we were really excited about, but I guess it's only open on weekends, so we can't go. It's Monday. So the guy told us it's closed. We're really bummed out. I don't know if it's because of COVID or if that's just always their hours, but I guess we're on to another beach then, as we sweat. He's saying it's 10 real to park here, so I don't know if this is because we're tourists or what he's even saying, but we might not go here because we don't want to pay to go to a beach.
The thing is, we don't really understand enough, but sometimes people that come up to you with these things, they just want you to pay because they see that you're a tourist, and we don't know if it's that situation or not. Maybe they make everyone pay.
I think we're misunderstanding something, obviously, but we don't really know what's going to happen.
Alright, let's see if they take it.
Alright, there's more people coming. We'll see if they pay 10 real, we will too, but I don't think they will.
See, he's not giving it to
We were just being taken advantage of, I think. There was a lady who spoke fluent English and Portuguese, and she kind of confirmed it without really confirming it. So, I think we're going to park in a different spot or go to a different beach. It's not about the money, we don't like the feeling of getting taken advantage of.
He came up to us and we kept seeing other people pass by, and because they were Brazilian, he let them go. But for us, no, give me money, give me money, give me money. So
that's not right.
It's just about that. We could have given him a few dollars.
If everyone was paying that, then yeah, but not if it's just a tourist price.
So unfortunately, we thought there was parking like a little bit down. These people told us that there was, and then it was very shady parking right on the side of the highway.
There was a big curve, so not worth risking our safety.
Alright, we just stopped. We're not in the best mood after that, so we have to stop and get an acai. Always makes us feel better. And probably a tapioca. This is called Casa da Tapioca.
If you guys watch our videos, you know that we try to stay positive, and yes, we love Brazil, but one of the few things that really gets on our nerves is when we are treated differently or charged in a different way than the locals would be. I don't know, maybe it's because in the US we don't do things that way. I don't know why it bothers us so much, but it just seems really unfair.
Some countries, they do that all the time. They always charge the tourist more than the local, but a country like Brazil, they don't always do that. It's just some people that want to get away with that. And then when you're not used to it in a country, you're enjoying yourself, trying to just do what everyone else is doing, and then they're trying to charge you and nobody else that comes by because they're all locals. It's hard to let that happen when we know what's happening. So my favorite things, acai and tapioca.
Girlfriend.
And her.
So we got here at the perfect time because it just started raining. It'll probably stop soon. That's kind of how the rain works here. It seems like it starts and stops within like 5 minutes. This place has a ton of great tapioca options, so we're excited about that. We ordered an acai.
I think I'm gonna get a tapioca carne seca, which is my new favorite meat. Actually, according to the last place, it was really good. Don't know if it's gonna be good again, but... Okay, these tapiocas look real good.
For only $2 each, we had a lot of different flavors to choose from. I got the carne seca, onion, and banana one with cheese. I've learned that I really like the banana added into things here. I had it on my pizza the other day. They like to add it onto a lot of things. Let's give her a try.
And mine is carne seca, queijo, cebolla, pimenta de cheiro, tomate e azeite. So, all I really know is the carne seca is a really good meat that I really like now. Almost like a beef jerky kind of thing. And tomato. Oh, you're a cute boy. Oh.
Look at his little nub. Good, we had to order another one to share. Look at that.
Amazing.
That meat is the best that we've had here for sure. It's like a pulled pork barbecue meat almost. I got a cacao juice. This is very popular in this region. It doesn't have any sugar in it, I don't think. It's like a cold, icy, blended juice. And it has a bit of a sour flavor. This one's hard to describe.
Extremely good lunch. We just stopped off the side of the road. We didn't plan that or anything. We didn't Yelp it. We didn't look at reviews. And it turned out to be a very good meal. Probably the best tapioca we've had yet.
Oh, we're very full. The place we just stopped at was Casa da Tapioca, and it says Jarabucasu, so we must be close to the Jarabucasu beach.
And that is where we're going now. So we're not using Google Maps to get to Jarabucasu. We decided to take the back roads. We listened to a written sign, a handwritten sign. And then we asked a guy on the way, a local, if it was the right way, and he said, yeah, just keep going.
Yeah, Google Maps isn't always right, so sometimes we don't listen to it.
This is one of those cases, and so we're on some back roads here. It took like 10 minutes maybe driving down these dirt roads with a bunch of potholes. We didn't see anyone else coming this way as far as tourists go.
We're kind of just in the middle of nothing. There's roosters calling, there's trees.
And
we are surrounded by trees, and now we're going on this path to Jarabucasu, which is super well known here. People have said it's the best beach to go to.
And because it's so well known, we didn't really expect it to be like this.
Yeah.
Like if you look over here, all we have is these hand-painted signs telling us where to go.
It's very secluded.
So that might be because, see? It might be because we went a different way than like Google Maps was taking us. Maybe this isn't the typical way people go, because Maps was taking us a totally different way.
This is beautiful though, this trip to the beach.
When we were getting dinner yesterday, there was a very talkative waiter that was giving us our food, and he told us that there was a secret beach around Jarabucasu, and you need a guide in order to get there. And we just saw a little kid on the way here that it sounded like he said we needed a guia, we needed a guide. We're not really sure, but because we're at this very secluded looking area, we might be going to what's known as Secret Beach. Not sure.
Fingers crossed, hopefully.
We don't really see other tourists, and this is a very well-known beach, so something odd is going on here. Hopefully it's good. We are still on the side of like a mountain here, and we're starting to see a view. What do you guys think? Wow. Just mounds of palm trees down here. A cliff with all the water at the beach. Supposedly there's a beach over here, a beach over here. Hey guys, if you like travel videos, make sure you subscribe, because we're traveling all around the world, not only Brazil. After Brazil, we're traveling around the world, and we're sharing it all with you. So if you want to see that, subscribe, hit that button down below. What's up guys, time for a Q&A.
Did you have to do the water bottle?
No.
It was like...
What's up guys, time for a Q&A.
If you guys have any questions for us and you want them answered in a Q&A, please leave a comment below, write Q&A and your question, and we'll try to get to it. First question comes from Luva Rescue. Looks like you have found the origin of acai bowls. True. In the States, they are a fourth of the size of what you are enjoying, and they're around $8 to $12. When you go to the Amazon, will you be able to see where this amazing fruit comes from?
We will, hopefully. I mean, we do plan to go to the Amazon for sure, but if it's possible to see exactly where some acai is made, I don't know if they process them in the Amazon or if we can see some kind of acai farm or something. We'd love to film a whole video about it because we're in love with acai. We have been for years, since we've been at home because it's getting popular outside of Brazil, but only since getting here have we been able to have it every single day because it's so cheap. Like Luva Rescue says, it's very expensive in the US, so you can't have it every day.
So you can get a huge acai bowl here for like $3 with toppings, and it's very easy to find. In the US, it's not as easy to find.
The next one is from Joanne DeFalco, who says, are beaches in Rio topless, or are you being careful and cautious? Little bit of both. No, they're not topless. From what we've seen, they don't look topless. Mm-mm. We haven't seen anybody topless yet, and we were on several beaches.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing not.
Next question, not really a question, but a comment, comes from JKDP Pratt. I wonder if you weighed yourselves before and after. So in a lot of our videos, we eat a lot of food, and we like food. And a lot of you have said that you don't think that we've gained weight, but we'll let you in on a little secret. We have gained a little bit since leaving Peru.
What's interesting though is we started to notice it while we were home. Mm-hmm. More so than getting to Brazil and eating a bunch of food or eating a bunch of food in Peru, we noticed the gain at home.
Yeah.
More so, I think, because when we were home, we weren't too active. So we were eating, but we were sitting on a couch watching TV at home. We were staying safe, staying inside because of COVID and all that.
Yeah, and what's weird is we gained weight at the exact same time. Like, all of a sudden we noticed, okay, wait, we both have some extra fat on us. But we were indulging in foods that we had missed while we were in Peru, like Chipotle, ice cream, nachos, pizza, all the stuff that we didn't have access to, so that played a part. But I think we're losing weight now that we're more active.
Yeah. Another interesting part is that we both don't gain weight very easily. I've had to try to gain weight most of my life. I'm usually very skinny no matter what I eat, but I guess I'm just usually active. So once we were home, not active, staying inside, that's when we both grew a bit of a gut
a little
suddenly.
Tummy.
First time in my life I'm really getting a bit of a gut, and probably the same for Lindsay. So we know that about ourselves now, that we can eat, but we have to stay active also.
That's the key. Especially in a different country, because we like to try the different foods, so we're not just gonna stop eating, so we just gotta be more active.
If it weren't for the dang acai bowls, we probably wouldn't be eating half of what we're eating now.
But we did hear that those are supposed to be pretty good for weight loss, but they probably have a lot of added sugar, so I'm not sure how that works. Okay, Mark Keller asks, you've mastered the word obrigado. What other Portuguese words have you become comfortable using? Bom dia is like good day.
Hola.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That was a hard one to learn. Hola for hello. Banheiro. We always need to know where the bathroom is.
Yeah, and then la conto is the check. Quanto costo is the... I don't know.
We don't know if we want to say that in case we're wrong. What else? Mostly we're trying to learn some of these sounds that don't seem right. What makes Portuguese a bit different than Spanish is some of these sounds that you wouldn't quite see there, but we're listening to people say things and they're actually different than what we think we're reading. So like in Spanish, you have passion fruit is maracuya in most of South America, but in Brazil and with Portuguese it's maracuja. It's something like that, maracuja.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's spelled the same way, but there are different sounds that you just don't get so much in Spanish. So we're trying to learn those kind of things.
We did learn that men and women use different endings, so we'll give the example for thank you. For Alex, it would be obrigado. For me, it's obrigada. So
that's a little different. Usually it doesn't work that way, or in Spanish it doesn't work that way. So we're learning slowly, unfortunately.
This next question is kind of a piggyback on the last one, but it is a different question, so we're going to address it.
Henrique Stilo says, nice. Do you feel it's hard to communicate with the Brazilians? There are many people that speak English. It is not very easy. Not a lot of people speak English. We haven't met that many. When we do meet someone that speaks English, they speak it pretty well and they know most things, so they obviously practiced a lot or like studied abroad or something like that.
Yeah.
But that's probably 1 in 100. Besides that, they don't know almost any English, so we don't get by with English. We have to get by with a little bit of Spanish, a little bit of English, a little bit of what we think is Portuguese.
I think that's what makes it hard is, like Alex said, there's not really an in-between. It's either like they're fluent in English, really good at it, or absolutely nothing at all. So there's no like basic words that we can find common ground on. But it's good for us to learn their language. We don't expect them to know English. It just makes it kind of difficult. Another thing we've noticed is we're trying to use Google Translate like we normally would with Spanish. But I don't think that for Portuguese it translates very clearly. So that hasn't been much help at all, really, the translator. Sometimes it makes it more confusing.
One thing to note is, so we really want to learn the language wherever we travel, but as you know, like right now we're putting out daily videos, which means we're traveling, we're outside every day, filming the whole day, trying things, finding places, finding out how to get places. Researching what we're going to do the next day, and all of that on top of when we get home for the night, I have to edit for hours a video every day. So we would love to learn the language, but we're not like typical tourists that get the time when they get home to take an hour and learn the language if they want to. We are spread pretty thin.
All of our energy is really going into these videos.
So we understand that Brazilians should not have to learn English. We're in their country, so we should learn Portuguese, but we don't have a ton of extra time to really get good at it. So we're just learning little bits at a time with the little amounts of time that we have.
Last question comes from Maria C. She says, I have a question. How do you keep calm even on situations like the one we are going through? Or is it natural for you to react like this? Greetings from Peru. So I'd say overall, Alex and I are pretty calm, but I am a pretty emotional and sensitive person. So I have been getting stressed out. In Peru, I was stressed out. COVID's been hard this year. It just changed the world, flipped it upside down.
It's hard to answer about something like COVID specifically because nothing has happened like that before. But if we're talking like travel, new situations, learning about where you are, not knowing the language, not knowing any people, those kind of things, I've gotten used to it by traveling a lot the last few years. It's just kind of like the way I've been living my life. And Lindsay also has traveled a fair bit, so we've kind of learned how to do that.
Yeah, but I definitely get stressed out. There's a lot of stress that's involved with travel that you wouldn't necessarily think about. There's really no comforts of home. You don't know the language, you don't know where it's safe, where it's not, where you're going a lot of times, how much you should be paying for things, where you're gonna stay the next night. There's just literally so much that is like a constant underlying stress that you might not even be completely aware of. Alex and I were just talking about that the other day. He's become more used to it, but I'm still kind of learning. Because at home, all these things just come naturally. You know where you can wash your clothes. You know where a bank is, where you can pull out money. We don't have those luxuries as we travel.
Yeah, so I think there are underlying stresses, kind of subconscious stresses that you don't even know are there. And I think at a certain point, you just adapt to that way of life. Like me, if you're doing it so much, I think that's why maybe I can handle it a little better than Lindsay, is that I've adapted in my mind so much to the stresses of life while traveling, which is a lot, that eventually it just becomes
your normal. Yeah.
It becomes your normal. You've adapted to that high level of stress and anxiety and not knowing anything, not knowing anyone, and that's just how you live. And so when new things come up, new potential stressors and anxieties and COVID and those kind of things, you're already on this higher level of stress, I guess. I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say, but you're just dealing with so many things already that I think it's it doesn't hit you as hard, maybe.
So as amazing as travel is, just know that it really is not easy and it's not glamorous all the time. There are a lot of comforts and familiarities that you don't have while you travel. So
then slap on a YouTube onto that.
good question. We like to always be honest with you guys and keep it real, so we're not afraid to admit we do have some bad days. We do have fights sometimes. It's normal.
Whew. After that last question, I think that is the end of this Q&A. If you have a question or a comment or anything, leave it down below. Put Q&A before it so that we can put it onto our next Q&A in the next video or the next one.
Thanks for watching. If you want to see more videos like this one, click the subscribe button and we will see you tomorrow.